I'm Katie, or at least that's the name I've adopted for the internet. You probably know me, or knew me, as the blindfolded mukbang YouTuber who captivated millions with my silent, bizarre eating broadcasts. My channel skyrocketed because of the mystery I cultivated. A simple gimmick: never show my face, never speak, and always eat ravenously, like I hadn't touched food in days. It worked. Bruises on my wrist, Morse code taps on my plates, cryptic captions with capitalized SOS letters, every little detail carefully planned to keep viewers hooked. They speculated endlessly. Is she kidnapped? Is she being held against her will? Who's behind the camera? The truth? No one was behind the camera but me. I wasn't a victim. I was the mastermind, and I made a killing off it, literally and figuratively. At first, my fabricated cries for help were enough to pull in views. Every video made me richer. I never imagined making money could be this easy. It felt like I'd found my talent. I planned a new angle, something to keep the audience guessing. So I came up with the idea for private live streams, pay-to-watch exclusives. My fans ate it up, both figuratively and literally. During the first live stream, I repeatedly pressed my head into a large bowl of sauce, as if someone were forcefully pushing me down. The chat exploded. Who's hurting you? Why isn't she fighting back? Is she okay? Kate, we're here for you, just give us a sign. The tips poured in. The live stream was a massive success, but it came with a problem. Comments shifted from concern to skepticism. She's faking it, they'd say. This is all for attention. Some even presented compelling evidence to prove their point. They weren't wrong. I needed new plan. That's when I brought Joel into the picture. Joel was a struggling actor I found through an extras group. I pitched him the idea. He'd play my captor, forcing me to eat during live streams while I pretended to beg for mercy. Joel was hesitant at first, but the promise of money changed his mind. Our first joint live stream was electric. Joel loomed behind me, occasionally barking orders as I stuffed food into my mouth. The chat went wild. This is insane. Someone call the police. Katie, are you okay? The more desperate I acted, the more money came in. For weeks, the plan worked perfectly. Joel and I split the profits, and my channel reached heights I'd only dreamed of. But then, Joel started getting too into his role. It was during our third live stream together. Something felt off the moment we started. Joel's demeanor had changed. He wasn't just playing the part, he was embodying it.
Eat!
He growled, shoving a massive crab leg in front of me. I played along, taking exaggerated bites, but Joel wasn't satisfied. He grabbed a handful of shrimp and pushed it toward my face.
More!
He demanded. The chat exploded. Oh my God, this is too real. Why everyone keeps saying she's acting? She's a good actress? Someone needs to stop this. Huh. At first, I thought Joel was improvising for dramatic effect. But when I tried to signal for him to ease up, a subtle tap on the table we'd agreed upon, he ignored me. Joel, that's enough, I whispered, my voice barely audible under the sounds of chewing. He leaned in close, his breath hot against my ear.
This isn't what you wanted, Katie.
My stomach dropped. Joel grabbed a handful of food and stuffed it into my mouth harder this time. I gagged, my blindfold slipping as I tried to push him away. I tried to spit out the food and scream, but Joel's hand clamped over my mouth.
Keep eating. The show must go on.
Desperation kicked in. I reached for the only weapon I had, the food itself. Grabbing the greasy seafood plate, I hurled it at Joel's face. He recoiled, momentarily stunned. I seized the chance to run, tearing off the blindfold and sprinting out of the room. I didn't stop running until I reached the police station. My story spilled out between gasps for air, but the officers didn't seem convinced. When I showed them the text between Joel and me, they raised their eyebrows.
These messages make it clear this was all planned.
It wasn't supposed to be real, I shouted, but they didn't care. To them, I was just a desperate YouTuber trying to go viral. Now, I'm back home. Every door locked, every window bolted shut. My YouTube channel is gone, my social media accounts deleted. But the fear remains. Yesterday, I received an email from an unknown sender. Isn't this what you wanted, Katie? No attachments, no context, just that one sentence. I don't know where Joel is now, but I can't shake the feeling that he's watching me. Somewhere, out there, he's waiting for me to let my guard down.
And finally, the dish you've all been waiting for is here. Today, I'm taking on the challenge of eating this giant pudding in just one gulp. Join me and let's dig in together. I'm Elliot, a pretty well-known mukbanger on YouTube, famous for my ability to devour anything with my big mouth. I slowly swallowed the massive pudding down. Honestly, it was a bit too much for me. Feeling the pudding slide down my throat, stuffing me full, and getting stuck halfway made me want to stop right there, but I had to keep going. This is the only job I've got. Finally, I did it. I beamed at the camera, waving to thank my audience as donations and compliments poured in through the screen. After the live stream ended, I rushed to the bathroom before the giant pudding could come back up. Today's meal was a bit too much for me. After throwing up everything I ate, I felt utterly drained. My jaw ached, and my lips and throat were swollen. The sour stench rising from my stomach made me want to vomit again. Sometimes, I feel like this mukbang job is turning my body into a food disposal machine. Eat, then throw up, never keeping anything down. But being a mukbanger has made me famous and earns me a lot of money. I have a comfortable life without needing to take on any kind of desk job. So, I choose to overlook the minor harm this job does to my body because I believe I'm still young, healthy, and nothing too serious will happen. To keep a steady fan base, I post mukbang videos almost every day. I carefully capture every chewing, biting, and sipping sound, creating the perfect ASMR effect that gets everyone excited. But once the camera is off, it's my own ASMR of screams as I spend hours stuck in the bathroom. Yet I keep eating, and eating more, because my job is to make everyone feel like food tastes better. Even though I regularly throw up all the food after each live session, my stomach has been growing abnormally large. It feels a bit bloated, but it's not too uncomfortable. My persistence in uploading videos consistently has paid off. My subscriber count has skyrocketed, and along with it, the money I make keeps growing. I'm ashamed to admit that my weight has spiraled out of control. Getting dressed feels like fighting a battle. Tonight, an influencer invited me to attend a Christmas party. This is the first time I will be interacting with people in the industry, and I feel a bit nervous. I tried to appear relaxed, naturally chatting with the people around me. When the music started playing, I immersed myself in the crowd, enjoying the fun as I had always wished. But at that moment, my heart started beating fast to the rhythm of the music, my belly fat jiggling, and my stomach contracting violently. A severe pain hit me, causing my vision to darken. I collapsed to the floor, unconscious. When I opened my eyes, I was already in the hospital, my whole body limp and weak.
You have a stomach hemorrhage and fatty blood. You need to adjust your diet immediately if you want to continue living.
I nodded perfunctorily, his tone making me uncomfortable. I am a mukbanger. How can I eat normally? If I don't stream for too long, I'll lose fans, lose my income, and lose everything. I happened to see a clip of myself fainting at the party last night. Many fans sent messages asking about my well-being. So how can I rest in the hospital? I smiled and typed a reassuring message to everyone. Hello to all my beloved fans. To show my gratitude for your support, tonight I will be hosting a special live stream that will last until New Year's Eve. A live stream featuring traditional dishes from various countries for the new year. And the 10-hour countdown starts now. After spending one day in the hospital, I immediately found a way to escape and began preparing for this special live stream. 5 hours passed, and I tried to eat and chat leisurely, but the amount of food was truly overwhelming. 9.5 hours passed, and my mouth was so sore, it almost lost feeling. My stomach was bloated like a balloon, hard as a rock. But I encouraged myself. There was only one dish left. I was sure I could do it. And here is the most exciting dish of the night: a stuffed pork leg. Without making you wait any longer, let's swallow this together to welcome the explosive moment of New Year's Eve. My wide mouth could encompass the pork leg, but as it went down my narrow throat, it filled my entire throat. I struggled to breathe, tears involuntarily streaming down. Hang in there, Elliot. Just a little more and this challenge will be over. At that moment, the countdown to New Year's Eve outside began. 10, 9, 8, 7. My stomach twisted with each count. Then I heard a loud bang coming from inside my own body. Outside, fireworks were exploding, and I vaguely heard the sound of an ambulance siren. Could it be that a fan called 911 for me? I must look terrible right now, right? My consciousness faded until I couldn't think anymore. I was always the punchline to their jokes, the lumbering target of their sharp tongues and cruel laughter. Today was no different. We were at Splash Out, the water park renowned for its towering slides and twisting tunnels. The sun blazed overhead and laughter rippled through the air. But not mine. For me, this place was just another stage for humiliation. The gang, my so-called friends, clustered around me near the entrance of the Turbo Twist. It was a short, narrow slide nestled among the towering giants of the park, but its reputation was deceptive. It was tighter than it looked, almost claustrophobic.
Bet you wouldn't fit.
Matt sneered, his voice dripping with mockery. The others erupted in laughter. My stomach churned as I climbed the steps to the slide. The rough concrete bit into my bare feet, each step amplifying the knot in my chest. At the top, the lifeguard gave me a dubious look but said nothing as I positioned myself on the slick edge. I hesitated, my gaze darting to the entrance of the slide. The opening looked uncomfortably snug, a glossy black moor glistening with running water. I could feel their eyes on me, waiting for my inevitable retreat. Heat flushed my face, not from the sun, but from the shame simmering under their scrutiny. Fine, I'll do it. Their laughter turned into whoops of mock encouragement. The cool touch of the water against my legs sent a shiver up my spine. I pushed off, the initial rush of momentum making my heart leap. For a moment, it was exhilarating. The darkness of the tube enveloped me, water splashing against my sides. But then I felt it, the slide narrowing around me. My shoulders scraped against the slick walls, the friction slowing me down. Panic clawed at my throat as I realized I was stuck. I tried to wiggle, to shift my weight forward, but the slide gripped me like a vice. The flow of water, relentless and uncaring, pooled around me, rising quickly. The water was up to my chin now, surging against my face. I craned my neck, desperate to keep my mouth and nose above the rising tide. My breaths came in shallow gasps, the air in the tube thick and humid. I thrashed, trying to free myself, but the effort was futile. My skin scraped against the abrasive surface, and I felt a burning sting on my arms and sides. With each attempt to move, the pain intensified. The water pressed against my body, forcing me tighter into the unforgiving tube.
He's stuck! Get help!
Inside the tube, my reality was collapsing. The rising water sloshed against my face, and my vision blurred with tears and panic. I could feel the skin on my arms and back peeling away, raw and exposed from the constant friction. Blood mixed with the water, its metallic scent filling the confined space. Suddenly, I felt a violent tug on my legs. Someone was trying to pull me free. The force sent sharp jolts of pain up my spine. My skin stretched, tearing in places as my body resisted the pull. Another impact reverberated through the tube. Someone outside was hitting it, trying to crack it open. "Stop!" I wanted to scream, but the words were drowned out as water flooded my mouth. I choked, my chest convulsing as I fought for air. The pulling intensified, and with a sickening lurch, I felt myself being wrenched free. The rush of air and blinding sunlight hit me like a tidal wave. I collapsed onto the wet pavement, my body trembling uncontrollably. For a moment, I was overwhelmed by the sheer relief of breathing again, but then the pain hit me in full force. Gasps and cries erupted around me. I looked down at my arms, at my chest, and my breath caught in my throat. My skin was gone in long, jagged strips, leaving raw, red flesh exposed to the air. Fat and tissue gleamed wetly under the sunlight, grotesque and shimmering. Blood oozed from the wounds, pooling around me. My friends stood frozen, their faces pale and eyes wide with horror. The lifeguards hovered nearby, their faces grim. One of them barked into a walkie-talkie, calling for medical assistance. As I stood up, pain radiating through every nerve in my body, I could see the fat under my skin quivering with every shuddering breath I took. Strings of it dangled from my arms, grotesque and alien. People gathered at a distance, their horrified whispers carrying through the air. The world around me blurred, the colors bleeding together in a surreal haze. Before I lost consciousness, the last thing I saw was the reflection of my mangled body in a puddle of water, a sight so horrifying it burned into my mind. When I woke up, I was in a hospital bed, my body swaddled in layers of gauze. The sterile smell of antiseptic filled the air. I couldn't move without sharp, searing pain shooting through me. My parents sat beside me, their faces etched with worry and guilt. The doctors told me I was lucky to be alive. Lucky. The word felt like a cruel joke. My body was a patchwork of scars, a grotesque reminder of what had happened. They say trauma changes you, and they're right. I don't leave the house much anymore. The world outside feels too sharp, too cruel. The whispers, the stares, I can't bear them, but after all, maybe it doesn't matter. In the end, the scars speak louder than words ever could.